Hey guys, so this is my evening edition for the last day of September. I was able to decompress a little bit a little while ago. It's a little bit dry, thank God. Changed my shirt to something dry. Bunch of things to talk about this evening actually, because I've been kind of humdrum the last couple of days. And first of all, I want to call somebody out. I've been receiving a lot of support, emotional support, from a young lady I hadn't met before back in Hanover, PA. And she's developed something called Free Hugs of Hanover. And you guys don't necessarily know what goes on behind the scenes with me in terms of how much support I get. It's been miraculous. A lot of people look at my journey from afar or periodically, but there's this core group of folks that are really in tune with it and really involved in it, just in that regard. And Jennifer's one of them, and she's been ultra supportive. And she just reached out to me a little while ago because she was complimenting the gentleman I met this morning, Mark Kripe, who I still didn't get a chance to research his site, but based upon what Jennifer was telling me, he seems to be pretty remarkable in his own right. So I'm excited to do that when I get settled here tonight. But one of the things is Jennifer has been all along hoping to come out and be part of the journey to somehow help me, assist me. She offered to walk 10 miles in my shoes, not literally my shoes, but walk 10 miles to give me a break. And she tried to get out here to California to be there to greet me at the end. And she was on the call last Thursday, and would like to do a lot of things that just not possible. But what I wasn't aware of, and what she hasn't made me aware of, I guess, is she's going through her own personal battles medically. So there's a lot of we've dealt with this a bunch on this journey with people and family and friends, and she's certainly one of the core people that has been supporting me. So prayers to her and everybody else out there that's battling and suffering. And let's just hope for the best outcome for her, and we'll go from there with that. So Jennifer, I love you. Hang in there. Thank you for everything you've done for me and the journey, and for supporting me. And I really look forward to getting back home a month from today, as a matter of fact, and after decompressing for a day or two. Maybe getting together with you for lunch, or having my kids meet you or something like that, I think would be great, because I want my kids to take this journey with me, to thank all the people that have been so supportive along the way for me, because it started back home, and it hasn't stopped. It's been fewer and far between out here, I readily admit, and maybe that comes off in my body language, or my, again, I know I wear my emotions on my sleeve. You know when I'm up, you know when I'm down. I'm pretty chatty, so when I have a 5 or 6 minute video, there really wasn't a whole lot going on that day. So anyway, but that's what the West has been so far. I know I'm looking forward to it, because I'm about 10 days away from the Grand Canyon, which is kind of my goal right now. I know I've got a campsite in Holbrook, Arizona, kind of halfway between the Arizona border and Flagstaff. So I've got a couple goals in mind. Gallup is our next town we're hitting. That's kind of on the New Mexico Arizona border, so to speak. But again, thank you to all who've been following me. I did want to talk about maybe one definite thing, and maybe a second one if I have time. So, let me get the second one out of the way, because I want to be brief. I try not to talk politics, because I'm not very savvy in politics, as well as I don't really get a lot of my news. I'm really not up to date on the news. Most of my news comes off my phone, off of Yahoo News and so forth. But I've been trying to understand this Supreme Court, is it Brett Kavanaugh appointee, sexual assault thing that's been going on. And again, I'm not trying to be political. I'm not trying to do anything. I don't even have enough information to make any kind of statement. The only statement I have to ask, from what I can tell, and somebody can tell me if I'm wrong, and I'm not trying to get people riled. Hear everything I'm saying, don't just jump on me. I don't believe anybody deserves to be sexually assaulted in any way. I'm not saying that at all. I'm a dad with daughters. I don't want anybody messing with them. But I guess my question is two or threefold. One is, I think this happened 37 years or something ago, 30 some odd years ago. With all due respect, I have a pretty solid memory, and I'm not talking about the victim, because I'm sure the victims can remember things pretty clearly. But how would we expect anybody to really remember relevant information from 37 years ago? And even if that's been said, okay, if somebody made some mistakes, I'm not talking about Brett Kavanaugh right now, I'm talking about anybody in life. Does anybody think that and look in the mirror, everybody. I don't know how many, I'm 51 years old now. I don't know how old you guys are. If you're young, remember this day will come. If you're older, I mean, think back 37 years. And are you the same person that you were 37 years ago? I find it sort of funny, in an ironic, sad way, that we're a country that loves the story of redemption. We love the story of people overcoming. We love the story of the underdog, the people that have been addicts and recovered and gone clean, and celebrate that. And then yet, in other facets of our society, in other ways, we look for reasons to tear down. And I don't quite understand, that dichotomy. In some ways, I don't know enough about politics. I think our president, George the second one, I believe was an admitted cokehead at one point, right? But he was able to become our president. Our current president has had enough allegations against him, but he's our president. I understand the swing vote in terms of the Roe versus Wade possibility between a conservative versus a liberal, and what that means if the Supreme Court swings and changes the legality of abortion, and that's a very, very big topic. I just don't understand how something from 37 years ago, I don't know many people that could look back and into their 17, 18, 16, 15-year-old self and not have made some mistakes. Now, I'm not trying to minimize if he did what he did. I'm not trying to minimize that. I'm just simply stating 37 years to ask somebody to remember either party is just a little bit bizarre to me, how that would happen. So enough about that. I'm not talking politics. I'm just talking, like I said, I know I'm not the man I was. I'm not the man I was 7 years ago. Shoot, I'm not the man I was 7 months ago after this journey. Anyway, I'll get off that topic for now. But I mean, just take a moment to pause. And then, the other thing that I wanted to say about that was this. I know people get nominated for these positions, but I got to be honest with you. If I was having a pretty comfortable life and someone came to me and said, I want to nominate you for the Supreme Court, who needs it? Who needs the aggravation of going through this? And then it's one of those things you can't do. Whatever you do is wrong. I saw something where, I guess he passionately and angrily denied it, which if someone accused me of something that I didn't do, I would be as angry and passionate. I'm pretty passionate about anything. But then people wanted to criticize that, well, look how angry he is. How could he be a sit-in judge if he's that angry all the time, or can be that riled? So if he sat there placid, people would say, look, he has no emotion and no remorse. I don't know. It's politics is just a strange animal to me. Definitely a different world. I'm off of that. Anyway, this evening, as I'm getting set up here for the night, it was really cool. I had a really refreshing moment. And not so much because of the article portion of it. I got a call from a writer for Route, R-O-U-T-E. I don't know how you want to say it, Route or Route. I would say Route because it's Route 66, Route magazine. And he was interviewing me for the magazine. Said, look, I want to ask you some questions now, and I want to maybe ask you, while you're on the journey and when you finish up, and come back to you. And I was speaking with Nick for quite a while. But what was fascinating was it was really Nick has, I guess, bicycled across the country 2 different times. So not only did he have some suggestions, but he's done what I've done, and I don't mean in terms of the travel. He's lived those moments of introspection. He's lived the frustration as cars are just blowing by you, and you just mentally are battling yourself as well as anything else. He had some good advice. One of the things that he told me, which honestly I think may be part of why I've been kind of mopey today even. But he said, hey Jim, look, let me tell you, I'm just going to warn you ahead of time that you're going to kind of have this post-journey depression. He said, when you get done, you know, in 48 hours after you get done, you're going to be like, you know, what's next? Every day is kind of a different high. It's a different unknown. You know, what happens next? And I appreciate him telling me that. And I really think that's part of it, because as I've been walking, you know, I've broken down in tears thinking about just seeing my kids again. Sorry guys. I've broken down in tears just knowing that at some point, God willing still, I'm going to walk down the Santa Monica Pier and complete this thing. And what a, I don't know, it's not anything to really necessarily celebrate, but just the, you know, mental aspect that it's over. And it is an accomplishment. It really is an accomplishment to point on a map and go, you were here. I remember when I went to Chicago, that was a pretty substantial thing. Then Oklahoma City now. So, you know, I really appreciated that. And you know what's funny? It turned in from I guess an interview to just a conversation, and it was so cool to talk to somebody that kind of has been through this kind of journey. I can't put into words. I don't know what the book's going to be like, because part of me wants to just tell the story of the book, and then part of me wants to tell the story of the book from up here, and they're two totally different things. And you know, some people say, look, do two books, you know, because there's one where it's kind of the chronological order of things, and here's what happened. It's great stories. That's going to be a great book. But then there's those things when you infer and interpret, you know, and share that mindset when you're on a highway and you see a dead mountain lion and you go, holy shit, I'm going to be sleeping outside tonight. There really are mountain lions around here. And those people that mean well and say, well, I really support what you're doing. Just be careful out there. I'm going to tell you all right now, the worst advice that you could ever give somebody is to tell them to be careful out there. Because frankly, look, I'm not playing chicken with cars. I'm not playing Frogger through traffic. I'm just walking. It's really got nothing up to do with me being careful, you know. If a car's going to take me out, a car's going to take me out. If coyotes are going to get me, they're going to get me. I don't have a lot of say in the be safe out there part, but what seems to happen is, and it's happened here in New Mexico at least 3 times, one about mountain lions, twice about coyotes, is be safe out there. The coyotes, you look out for the coyotes. What do you want me to do? You know, I just, you know, do me a favor, don't let me know about the coyotes, don't let me know about the mountain lions. I'd like to be able to put my head down tonight and go to sleep out here. It's kind of hard when you hear a noise and go, oh crap, oh crap. You know, you don't really just get a good sound sleep out of the deal. So if you ever know anybody going on a journey like this, I assure you, you don't have to tell them to be safe out there. They're going to do their best to do that. It's really out of their control. But speaking with Nick was great, because I never met the guy before, and I guess I think he told me a marketing professor, but he's done this, and it was just strange to be able to talk. We just had a conversation, so I wanted to share that with you guys as well. And this is how cool he is. He knows where I'm at. He knows the time schedule. He probably could have talked to me for another hour tonight, and he said, hey Jim, you know what, I got a lot more questions for you. I'd love to speak with you, but I know I've been in your shoes. I know what you got to do. You got to hunker down. You got to get yourself a place. You've got to get settled. So let me let you go. You know, I told him, you know, we agreed to kind of call between, I think it was 5:30 and 6. So I made sure to get myself to a quiet place off the highway. But you know, there is a certain amount of recon that has to be done to find a place to stay when you don't have a place lined up, and you need daylight to do that. So it's getting dark here. It's almost time for you to run out. Kira, Graceland, and I love you guys. Have a great night. Thanks for listening, folks. You know, we're off to Gallup as our next big town, and then into Arizona. And 4 weeks from today, I'm home, guys. I love you so much. Thanks for listening. Prayers to Jennifer. Prayers to everybody out there suffering. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.